Commission regular meeting of July 26th. The invocation will be by Commissioner Mantua.
Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather to discuss and ponder the issues of our community. Keep us mindful of the needs of the citizens as we look to make decisions that are fair and beneficial to all. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Thompson,
Here.
Commissioner Akala,
Here.
Commissioner Mantala,
Here.
Commissioner Pontius,
Here.
Commissioner Stasinski.
Here. First up on the agenda, we have public comment. If anybody would like to comment, please go to the podium, name and address, and keep it to 3 minutes.
Steve, if you could turn the mic on. It's not.
Is it on now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to apologize for my behavior last time. Taking too long, stepping out of place, making some comments from the floor. It's unbecoming of a citizen to do that, but also in respect, it's unbecoming of the commissioners to disparage citizens from speaking up here at the end in commissioner comments. I would just prefer you not to say nothing in public or mention people's names that would hurt their reputation in the community. And I know I'm becoming a fixture here, which I do not like, and I do not have the time for it. But it seems like some of the policies and rules that govern the city for all the citizens other people that ran into the same situation I have. I have a property that someone says, your trailer is illegal there. I don't know what I'm going to use the property for, but it's my property. I have property rights. Stuff was parked there for years. It was a parking lot. Maybe there's semantics on wording. I shouldn't have called it a parking lot. But I don't know what to do or who can help me to make sure I can move forward with utilizing my property for parking until I see what I want to do in developing it. I committed to buying this property for an investment for myself, for my friends, and to invest in Gladstone. And I have a difficult time. This is about the third item that I've had a difficult time in the last 3 or 4 years to try to get my freedom to utilize what I want to use in a proper way. And I'm speaking because I bought property in Escanaba. I go into their zoning board and they say, what did you buy? This. And they say, what do you want to do with it? I name off 5 things: retail, buses, trophies, computers, and storage. She goes in the back room. Within 5 minutes, she says, all you need to do, register the property for your 5 things you want to do, pay your $30 as the new owner. Everything has been pre-approved throughout history on that piece of property to do what you want to do with. So I feel I should be able to have the same rights as previous owners of this property, if I'm not changing anything dramatically, to utilize it. If I'm wrong, you need to tell me. Don't sit there and nitpick every little thing I give and change the goalpost that I have to change something. And it's devastating on my family, on my business, and especially my reputation. I'm willing to follow any rules you have, as long as everyone else has to. And I do appreciate the time speaking to you. Just consider what I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks. Anybody else for public comment? If there's no other public comment, we'll move on to the consent agenda, the City Commission regular meeting minutes of July 12th, and the payment of bills.
Minutes for the last meeting, I don't know if anyone has any corrections or anything that want to do with it,
I don't know if it matters, but it looks like the resolution in the minutes is truncated, missing a page maybe. On page 4 and sort of looks like there's a page maybe missing.
Yeah, it doesn't flow very well from,
Are you looking for the map on that resolution? Because the map is not on part of that resolution.
Well, it's just, I mean, maybe this is how it's supposed to be, but there's item number 4 on, the PDF, page 4, that ends payable annually,
Yep.
and then the next page starts of Michigan.
Oh, maybe it is on your, because it goes to be payable annually on each installment due date. Unpaid installments shall be subject to delinquent, and then it goes into number 5 and 6.
Yeah, that part's not in there.
5 and 6 are missing.
So maybe it did.
Yeah.
So then it just goes into the of Michigan. Yeah, so you're missing a page on your
Maybe
PDF.
just the scan.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
if
so,
it's-
because in the printed one it's
Yeah,
there.
on the hard copies, we have it.
You have that
Yeah.
page?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so it
Good
must
deal.
have, the scan stuck. Sorry.
The C2A bill was for the design phase, correct?
Yeah, that is for the basis of design phase.
Okay, that's where we are in that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a note to fix it on the website on the agenda portion of it, so I'll rescan it and put that in, but the minutes will be on there as well, so, thank you.
I'll make a motion, we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll support. We have a motion by Commissioner Szynski, support by myself to accept the consent agenda as published, well, with the correction. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. Next up, under new business, we have the MML annual meeting notice.
Yeah, last year, there was not an annual meeting, so, each year, municipal league has an annual meeting in, some town. All the commissioners are invited to go. There's a lot of training and educational opportunities. Anyone is interested in going?
September 22nd to the 24th in Grand Rapids.
That's
We
a
haven't
Mhm.
posted an agenda yet.
No, not
Wednesday
yet.
through Friday, okay.
Well, I didn't check today, but.
Anybody interested?
I'm gonna be out of town on the 23rd through the 26th.
When do we have to know by if somebody's going or not?
So for the voting delegate to appoint them, I have to notify them by August 20th. So
Mm.
you could table and do the first meeting in August. I was just pulling up to see if there's an agenda.
August.
Well, if there's commissioners that want to check their schedule, I would move that we put it on our next meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they might have the agenda by then,
Yep.
but I could send to you if you have, you know.
I'll support, we'll have a motion by Commissioner Ockel, support by himself to push it to the next meeting.
It's a very educational meeting. So this, with this announcement, this looks like there's an election, but that's a very small part of it. They have breakout sessions, and you can go with all the lawmakers will be there, and there's some really good breakout sections on some of the new laws and grant funds that are available and how other people are doing other things.
Are they going to stream it as well? Any intention of doing that?
I didn't see that, but
Okay.
I'm just pulling up here on my phone, and it does look like the agenda now is posted.
Well,
They
good, that'll give
usually
us a
after,
chance to
yeah,
look
yeah,
at it.
usually after they have like a webinar that, you know, we sign up for,
Mhm.
after, then they post that. I don't know if they would be doing with so many breakout sessions, if they'd be posting those or
Right.
not, but
I've attended them personally in the past, and it is very, very valuable if you can spare some time away.
mhm.
They do cover a multitude of topics, and from the agenda, you'd be able to decide whether it's something you're interested in. Or
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to meet other
Yeah.
people.
Is it any or all, or just one commissioner goes typically, or?
No, you could all go. Can't meet in a room together,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I'm interested in going for the educational part of it,
Yeah,
really.
mhm.
Mhm.
you
I'd
check
have-
the
I'd have to
agenda
check
then. Yeah.
with the boss at home.
Yeah, there was years where we had 3 or 4 commissioners go.
When's the last time we had someone go? Anybody know?
Probably pre-COVID.
I went to one that was in Lansing a
Yeah.
couple of years ago.
Did we have a motion to table this?
We did.
Is that-
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The motion is carried. Next up, we have the manager's contract.
Well, I met with the mayor and Commissioner Gregg, and we went over some things. I'm just proposing keeping my hourly rate the same. And it was supposed to start December 31st, so it's 6-7 months late. And I highlighted the changes from the previous contract. I changed the date. I actually put the hourly rate in there, and I will make every effort to try to stick to the 32 hours. But last year it was pretty much impossible with all the things we had going on.
Would you mind addressing that severance pay that I
Oh
had
yeah,
a question about?
for severance, that would just be 32 hours a week or 64 pay period for 6 months, including the benefits would be 6 months also. I will reword that, so it's, unless you have a specific wording you'd like, I'll put it in there.
Which section was that?
That's on the Exhibit A.
Oh,
It was still a savings from the previous city manager's salaries, so.
that was item 9.
Yeah.
9.
6 months of salary at the 20 rate? What was that again?
6 months of salary based at 64 hours per pay period.
64
as
hours
opposed
per
to
pay.
80.
Okay, yes, okay.
And then On that same page there, item 11. All right, we've got the 10% added to salary towards retirement account. That's,
I just had that for this year because I only have 40 hours over the 62 so far, so last year's all caught up as per the 62 hours per pay period. This year haven't done anything yet to catch up, so I just thought I'd do the full year since it was supposed to start in December.
For my edification, what's the reasoning behind the 4 days or the 62 hours instead of 5 or 8? Why not just have it be full
Yeah,
time?
typically, city managers are salary, and I think Eric
Yeah.
can address that, because I have
5% more efficient than most.
I had the same question.
20% and
Yeah.
more efficient, and because I'm retired from here, there's a limit to how many hours I can work.
It
through,
opens up the door to save money.
Yeah, through federal, it's not MERS laws, it's federal.
Federal Labor Standard Act.
Yeah, it's federal retirement law. You can go off and work any place else except for the place you retired from.
Got it, okay.
So did we exceed that last year?
They waived it for this year and last year because of COVID.
Due to COVID?
And that, they might do it for a while longer because nobody can find anyone to work anymore.
Turnovers, yeah.
So,
And just playing cleanup and catch up with all the stuff that got pushed around.
yeah.
Schedules and plans just got tossed.
And if we have some wording changes too, item 6.1, we should probably strike interim from city manager. As you're no longer an interim city manager.
Oh, I missed that one.
There's also a typo on page 32. Manual is misspelled. On 34, I think administration. Missing the N.
What number was that?
On the PDF 32.
Oh,
Was it that, I mean, the fee
Kinda
schedule
hard to
with that.
guess which one that was.
What sub-item in
Yeah.
Eric's?
Yeah, I must be remembering the page number wrong.
Yeah, his stuff starts on page 15 in my document.
If there's any misspelled words, I copied this from Kim's contract, so
Yeah.
I'm blaming Kim.
I must have my pages messed up.
Do you know what the paragraph number is?
I don't recall it.
I will find it.
Yes.
I just, I didn't read through the ones that were approved the last time very well. Very well.
Yeah, page 2 of 5 of the contract. Manual 8.1.
Okay, yeah.
It was really obvious when you pointed out.
Yeah.
The other one, I think, was further on administration. Just typos.
Other than the kind of technical item that Commissioner Akla brought up and the typos, with those changes made, I would make a motion to approve the contract.
Support.
I will change that language. I can email it
Okay.
to you if you want to read it over, and then before the mayor signs it.
Motion by Commissioner Mantala, support by Commissioner Akala. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion is carried. Next up, we have the corrective action plan.
By the way, thank you, Eric.
Oh, thank you. Janice is here to, she went through her first AMAR, which is
Oh, yay.
audit of minimum assessing requirements. And I figured out the people that do the audit don't know how to write a summary of something, because they wrote some stuff down and they didn't put numbers by it. Then all of a sudden, halfway through, they start numbering things. And let's see, would you like to address it, Janice, or would you like
Sure.
me to butcher it?
I can, I think. So the AMAR, as we call it, audit of minimum assessing requirements, it comes through once every 5 years. It's by county basis, so every assessor in Delta County went through it this spring. And each, if we have more than one unit of government, every unit is audited under each assessor. So this is basically the results of that. The corrective action plan is what stems from, what they need me to work or correct, and most of it is really kind of already done. The review sheet that was given out is, the notes from the auditor, and there are also a couple things on the review sheet that were marked no that aren't addressed in the corrective action plan, but what is addressed in the corrective action plan is what I have to get back to them on. The other stuff that was no was either the land value maps. Right before the audit, they said we didn't have to bring those in, so that's why that's no. And there's a couple other things in there that weren't exactly necessary. It was a really great learning experience, actually. I was able to talk to the auditor, get some feedback on things. A lot of this is pretty basic that needed to be corrected. The comments about the July and December board reviews, I had a great conversation with the auditor on that and how to keep an eye out for certain processes for PREs and uncapping. Sometimes they can go to board review, sometimes you have to do special forms, so it was great to get that information, but this is what stems from that, and really I'm just looking for an approval to send the correction action plan. I didn't include the attachments in here. Part of it was because most of it you've already seen and done. The other part was when it comes to poverty exemptions, I wanted to maintain some privacy for those that did apply for those. So that's why I didn't include any of that.
Didn't we change the, I'm looking at item 5B. That was checked no. The poverty exemption guidelines need to be updated with legislation made changes. made per Public Act 253. Didn't we do that?
Yeah, we changed it after I got back from the audit, and I knew this was coming.
Oh, okay. So this happened prior to
Yep,
that.
yep.
Okay, so that's already been adjusted.
And it's kind of a good
We
show of
did
faith
that.
that we did it right away, you know, that I had it done so that I can say,
Okay.
yeah, as soon as I got back, we corrected that, so.
So the only ones that are left to do are 4, 6, and 7? Or just
4C.
Well, I can't do that until personal property next February, and that is just dating them correctly. Board review, we just went through the July board review, so I'm going to include the attachments from the July board review, and that all complied. And the property transfer affidavit, we started doing that, and I'm going to include some bills. I believe the commission approved this last fall. It took a while for me to set up a procedure to bill. And I also wanted to give people, the companies around the area, time to kind of get it together so they'd start getting this to me. So I had notified title companies and realtors and attorneys that fill out these paperworks, and I had told them, hey, this is going to happen. I'm going to start charging fines. So I wanted to give them time to work that out in whatever their procedures are. So, but now we are billing. We've only billed 5 maybe so far. And that'll be included. So most of this is done and is in action. It's just personal property. So next year after personal property, I guarantee they're going to want to see the forms and stuff, you know.
Yeah, because are you speaking about item number 7?
Well,
Didn't we correct that also?
number 7?
The property transfer affidavit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the billing, we
Yeah,
started billing
that's
for
what
that.
you're talking about, right, so that
Yeah.
was-
So, and I'm going to be mailing the bills that we're going to attach the bills that we did send out.
Correct.
So they know that now it's in place and we're doing it, so.
It's been sort of difficult because the register of deeds has been so overwhelmed with the way property's been transferring, so they're behind. Some of them you're waiting almost 3, did you say 3 months?
Well, it's actually the title companies.
Oh, the title.
Yeah, in July 1st, I got a packet and I had sales from December in it, from these personal, and they have 45 days to get it to me. So it's been a bit of a struggle to get it going, but.
So there's a late fee if they exceed 45 days?
Yeah, it's $5 a day up to $200. So it's worse for commercial properties, and they can get like up to 5,000. It's it's not. I don't like doing it, but it was almost to the point. You know, if you think about it, when in July I got sales from December, I couldn't use those December sales in my sales studies, and because they didn't get to me, I didn't have a price. So then I didn't have that data to use, which might have been helpful if I had that in the 45 days. So, and the other thing too with these, if I don't get the sales on time, we send tax bills to the wrong people. And then the wrong people are saying, why am I getting taxed for this house I sold in December? And then I have to tell Vicky, okay, now we got to mail out another tax bill.
That
So
happened
there's
to me. Not here, but in another town.
right.
I got a tax bill and they never knew that it was transferred.
Right. So it costs us more time in the long run as well to correct all this stuff, and then you have people panicking because they're getting tax bills they don't think they should. And
Who pays that bill if it did?
it goes to the buyer of the property. It's their responsibility. If they hire someone to take care of that,
Title company or realtor should be knowledgeable of that.
Yeah, personally, if it was me, and I had a title company, I would be saying, "Hey, let me get this bill." But the law is the buyer; it's their responsibility to make sure it gets out. But I have been warning these buyers if it comes down to about I'm around 10 days. If I still haven't gotten it, it's 10 days to that 45-day timeline. I send them the form myself. So the 5 bills I sent out were people that got the form, and I said, "Hey, there's fines, please fill this out," and I still didn't get it from them. So I'm trying to, not bill people, but.
Appreciate it.
Do Do we have to take any action on this or approve the corrective
Yeah.
action?
Yes.
Yeah, approve it.
Yep, you need to approve the corrective action plan, and then we'll
I would make that motion.
mail it in.
I'll support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Akla, support by Commissioner Mantala to approve the corrective action plan for submission to the state. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. Next up, we have the 2021-22 fee schedule.
Yeah, this is the annual fee schedule, which will start the first of August. And I made up a little helper sheet when I was going through this weekend. I thought, well, we have the numbers in red, but you don't know what they were changed from. So I put the numbers they were changed from in parentheses. If Patty Lombard went through here and put a lot of work into this and made it a lot more user-friendly. So it's she made a table of contents and put them all in order and separated the general fund from the utilities, and so kudos to her for making it a lot easier to follow. So if you look at the first page, and that's would be first page after all the contact information, that would be the general government fees, and there are no changes proposed in the general government fees. The second page was building and housing and zoning. This would be Renee's department, and in the middle you see that she's raising some of her bills for rental inspections and broken rental inspections, and by $5 each, and rezoning text amendment is going from 250 to 300, and plan unit development is going from 250 to 300, and GIS parcel update is a new item, and we're offering, and that will be $50.
What exactly is that?
Very
So,
sure.
if somebody does a land division, that changes their GIS map, we've always had it in the rezoning portion of the, fees. So if somebody went from R2 to R3, we have to change all our GIS mapping. So anytime the property shape changes, or the map itself has to change with the use, then, we charge a $50 flat fee for that use to change. It's getting real typical in other communities, that you're seeing. Our fees are still notoriously low in all of our zoning and compliance fees, and they're trying to kind of get them up a little bit to match what other communities are doing, but at least this gets us started. So that's basically what the big one that I see is in land division. So when a lot is split, not so much a lot, but like a couple of meets and bounds, if that is split, where two surveys have to be created, that parcel has to be created in GIS. It takes some time to do this.
Can I add to that real quick too? Whenever there's a land division or something like, there's 3 departments that have to adapt their records. There's hers, there's mine, and there's GIS that have to adapt the records to reflect this. To look it over and make sure it's okay, so it does time on everybody here.
So who pays for that? Buyers? Who would pay for that? When you're talking about
Whoever's
land division.
requesting it's different, it's whoever's requesting the change.
Okay.
So whoever makes that initial contact, sometimes they pass it off to the person buying the land,
Mhm.
whatever they want to do.
All right.
minutes for the after hours rental inspections, the normal ones stays.
We get a lot of no-shows on those, on rental.
So we're trying to accommodate that too, so you'll see we started charging last year for a late cancellation. One, we had a lot of no-shows, and two, we had a lot of people who called 2 minutes before the inspection saying they can't make it. So we're trying to encourage folks to by adding some of those requirements. So you gotta let us know 48 hours in advance. 'Cause if somebody lets me know even an hour before the inspection, I've already got so many folks, and I have to pay that person to sit there. So just trying to be fair to the rest of the customers who do show up on time and make their appointments, because they're notified at least 2.5 weeks before time they're coming. So it's usually pretty easy. Depending on when they open their mail, I can't guarantee when they open their mail. They have plenty of notice a lot of times.
And moving on to the next page, the cemetery, and these were recommended by the cemetery committee. And I think our cemetery prices are still cheap for this area, inexpensive.
Yes, there is a survey that we look at or that we do, and we are one of the lowest ones. You do have to compare even to like municipal. We are a municipal cemetery versus private entity, but even still in the UP, we are the lower one. We are very low compared to municipal cemeteries downstate, but so.
Last year we had a record year for sales of lots. It was the thing to do during COVID, I guess.
Yeah, people were very interested in.
You see most of these prices are like a $5, a $10 or a $10 bump. Except if you're buying a full family plot.
It is a good thing to prepay it, because if you leave it behind, somebody else has to pay it by its law.
Right.
I learned that from my daughter. She's a mortician, and if you stick somebody with these costs, it goes to the family, and you have to pay it. That's the state will hunt you down.
There is.
And you know you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah,
There is a cost to it.
my eyes were open. I never thought it would be like that. You know.
The only, the one on the extra handout I gave, I had the veterans marker. I had we accidentally put that both resident and non-resident veteran marker is $100, and that's no change. It was accidentally highlighted red, so I highlighted in yellow just to note that. And monument, foundation, and case marker, last year that was set up at 25 cents, and it was accidentally typed in per square foot, so a usual marker might be 75 cents, so it was supposed to be square inch, and it was accidentally put as square foot. And moving on to public safety, the only change they had in was for fire calls. The volunteer fire chief now gets a little more money than the other firemen. So if he's there to bill him for an hour, I mean $1 more an hour than the other ones. I know it always seemed unfriendly to me to bill for fire calls, but if you have homeowners insurance, it's in your homeowners insurance. It's an automatic thing, so
Yeah, we still have the $1,000 cap on that as well, which
Yeah.
what most policies cover, so.
Moving on to Public Works. Barry raised some of his curb and driveway removals. He bumped them up some 10 cents and 25 cents per square foot and per linear foot. Grass cutting, it was we were having one of the summer kids cutting grass, and we were sending bills for like $10 to people, and people decided that they wanted to use us as their
I was
lawn
just gonna
maintenance
say,
program,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
so we just thought to encourage them to mow their own lawn.
Yeah, $10 would be pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
What's the snow removal other? What would that be different on this? That's on, just on the sidewalk?
It is.
So shoveling a sidewalk?
That's new also, and
Yeah, I see it's new.
is using it the same way as the grass.
Oh, there was a fee, but it was low?
Yeah, they were going out and shoveling off the sidewalks, and people weren't shoveling off their sidewalks, and it was a lot of times it was cheaper than what a contractor would
Right.
cost. So.
Well, that's gotta be a workout too, after 48 hours.
Yeah.
You let it sit for 48 hours with people walking on it. And
The other thing that was modified a little bit was the dumpster permit. We want to encourage people when they're doing construction on their homes or tearing stuff down to use dumpsters, but we've been battling with the dumpster companies, and they'll just come in and drop them right in the road, and there's been situations where people have almost gotten in head-on collisions with them because they don't have reflectors on them. And so if they do, if it is necessary for them to put it in the road or the right-of-way, they let us know, and then we supply the correct barricading so that it's a safe set in the road, and it's for only 2 weeks, and it's not. But if you're just putting one in your yard to do the same work, there's no permit required. That's it for Public Works. Parks and Recreation, these numbers were recommended by the Rec Board, recommended and approved by the Rec Board. The Kids Kingdom Pavilion rental is going up $10 per day from $40 to $50. Large pavilion is going up from $60 to $80. And the gazebo, when they're going through there, they thought their non-resident gazebo rental was a little excessive because it was over double of the $25 rate, and so they dropped the rental on the gazebo. And the ski chalet rentals, Monday through Thursday, it's $100 a day. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's $400 to rent it for 24 hours. And if you rent it for 2 days, the whole weekend, it's $700. And the new thing they came up with this year, because of with graduations, there's I noticed that last year that people would rent it as a group and then take turns doing their kids or doing them together. And some people had asked if they could set it up so there was 3-hour blocks during the weekend so people could set their kids up differently. So that's what that was all about. And down lower in the page, you'll see I have some numbers highlighted in yellow. And as I was talking about earlier, this was from all the different schedules and pamphlets that were out. Wanted to get them correct, and we'll be working off of this from now on. There aren't any big changes. There's some increases and decreases, and it's all about $1 or $2, and it was just a typographical error that happened sometime in the past, and we're just correcting that. Oh, Jason did have one other thing he wanted me to mention on this. On the transient variable, that goes according to what the state waterways rates are, and he said that it's been for the last 2 years. They charge $25 for any boat, $25 a day for any boat up to 25 feet, and once you get over 25 feet, it's $1 a foot extra per day. So he showed me that, right, a little too late to make any changes, but I'll just let you know what that is as per the waterways rates, because that's a waterways harbor. And moving down to the utilities. The first one is the electric department, and they have a service connection on the pole. This is a new one, and the price will vary with a minimum charge of $100. And the other change is the 48-hour notice of disconnection for non-payment, and that's going up from $20 to $30. And because that is per actually state policy, because we have to follow state policy in disconnecting people. Next up was wastewater. Wastewater, oh, he just had some more corrections on the tap fees. The South Bluff tap fee has always been $2,000, and that was when we put the South Bluff in. We put laterals to a lot of property, and there were some property owners that did not want laterals, and now we're getting new homeowners, and they're deciding to use city services, and the $2,000 was supposed to be like a special assessment for that lot. It wasn't supposed to cover the cost of putting a 6-inch lateral to the property line, which can be expensive depending on what side of the road you're on. And so he corrected that by putting plus material and labor. The Blackwell Avenue tap fee is actually the same, but it wasn't in the old one. It's documented. And that's the 1994, and that has also the plus material and labor. And the water department did not have any changes, and solid waste did not have any changes. So that is all of them.
Any commissioner comments or discussion?
I hate to be that person, but it could probably use one more read through for typos. I saw a huge number of typos in the kind of directory of staff. Clerk is misspelled. Page 32 on the PDF. Page 34, conditional use, residential, is missing an L at the end. On page 35, on the bottom, there's 4 typos with regard to the Veterans Cemetery. So, you know, just, it's a complicated document, probably.
Well,
Fresh eyes or something.
I was concentrating on the numbers,
yep.
and so, but I'll do that. Go. Have a couple more look throughs.
Any other comments? Just be looking for a motion to approve the fee schedule as presented.
So moved with the changes, correct, typo corrections mentioned by Commissioner Pontius.
Yeah, most of these increases are pretty minor. Yeah, I'll support that.
So motion by Commissioner Mantle, support by Commissioner Stasinski to approve the 21-22 fee schedule with the typo corrections. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. Next up, we have the city manager's report.
Okay. As just about everybody knows, our purchase agreement with the property on the North Shore is coming close to being expired, and so Renee and I met with Don Bacon just to go through it and get an exact date when that's going to happen. There's been some interest in that property as of late, working with some people, so that's about all I can say about it. But so we're just covering all our bases on the North Shore. Last week we had our annual safety day. Each year you're required, in a workplace setting like this, there's 10 or 12 different, like the lockout, tagout, and those type of safety programs that everybody that works for the city is supposed to have a refresher course. So we set it up at the sports park, and everybody had it. We had a pizza lunch, and it wasn't pizza lunch, it was cooked by our electric department. Sorry, Skip. Skip cooked, and the boys cooked some delicious bratwurst and hamburgers and hot dogs. So that went really well. So we're good for another year. We have a safety committee that meets monthly, and we also have a new reporting procedure when to record the near misses, and the safety committee will go over near misses and go over it with the people that were almost injured, and we're trying to stop the injuries in the workplace. So, and in in the long run, once we get everything set up, it will pay for itself. Kim and I and and a couple of the other staff members, we've been going through, and I know we mentioned it to the commission about doing a little restructuring with the staffing at City Hall and some other departments. So we're coming up with some ideas and hope to be bringing those to the commission pretty soon. There's some possible changes on the horizon. QPAT, we had our quarterly executive committee meeting. I didn't bring it out here, but QPAT had done a report on the demographics and the workforce in the UP, and it's really interesting. And I'll send the website to the commissioners on the age of the workforce and all sorts of different things in there. It's really a good read. I thought I set it in with my stuff, but I must have left it on my desk. So that's all I have.
How long has it been since our last workplace injury? Been a while?
No. We had a minor, Friday. It was minor. It was, and stuff. So, yeah. So, thankfully, not a major. It's been a while for that, but.
For OSHA recordable, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Well, 2020. So. For a recordable one, with that.
2019. Wasn't it 2019, towards the end of 2019?
Public safety shoulder.
Oh.
We just kind of forgot about 2020, but it happened in 2020. So, yeah. I have a history thing on it I could present to you. Yeah, and stuff. But I like the dashboard reporting because it will be showing now, for everyone, to see, and then in all the departments, how long has it been, the trainings we had or the near misses and then whatever. And so then you can visually see, well, if we're having a lot of near misses, or some things with gloves, well, maybe we need to, have more gloves or, something you can see to prevent it. And it's a really cool, for record keeping, it is an amazing tool. And yeah.
We get an email, everybody gets an email every day of where we're at.
Sure.
And what the most recent near misses were and
right.
recordable injuries.
Yep.
It's kind of nice because it just keeps awareness high.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, we're a bit behind that game, but we're getting there. So I'm excited about the dashboard tool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's different with today's, not to pick on today's kids, but I know when I was working summer jobs, I had poured concrete and built a garage and done all that stuff with my dad. Well, kids don't have that experience anymore. No. And they come in and not going to say they're clueless, but they are eager to learn how to do that stuff now. So.
Next up, we have the City Commission and Committee reports. We have the year-to-date financial reports.
Yep, Vicki put this together. Looking at the revenue and expenses, one thing to note, we haven't received any of our tax levy yet, none of our revenue sharing money, and so the income side of the general fund is only 16%, where it should be first quarter. In a perfect business world, you should be at 25%, but our money comes in different times of the year, so you can't really follow the 25, 50, 75%. Other note was there was reed air and water, and that got passed on to wastewater, and so it looks like they did $7 million of revenue, $6 million in the wastewater fund extra, and five plus in water, and that will be corrected, and we'll get those corrected numbers. And there's a reason why we couldn't correct them.
Well, it's imported from the utility billing system, and it's just a timing issue. It was posted in June, Patty caught it in July, so it's already been corrected in July. But it was just a timing issue.
Let's see, I had if commissioners have any questions, what else did I have highlighted?
And as was noted, these are pre-audit numbers, so once the
Yeah,
auditors are
it's just
finished
the
up
first
with
quarter
their-
of this fiscal year, and the auditors have been here for the last couple weeks, and they finished their on-site work on Friday, so. Getting sewer revenue, water sales to customers. Then behind that, she's got the balance sheets for this and where the balances sit to date. And we were talking at budget time. We'd like to see the cash balance for the general fund get up to the 20% of spending, which would be a little closer to $1 million, and so we're working towards that. But there are no negative fund balances, and everything is at the Dr. Mary Cretan's the Community Foundation. We have about $387,000 in cash, and that's because we received that check in January-ish, February, and so we try to keep 1 year in case there's a bad market year. And we haven't transferred any of that towards, we've spent some of this money, but it's showing up as expenses in the different funds that use it, mostly recreation and the cemetery. So that number will be back down to a year's worth, which is about $160,000 by the end of the year. Any questions?
No questions? We'll move on to the board and commission reports. City Commissioner comments? Robert?
None tonight.
Brad?
No, I'm good.
Craig?
As always, public comment is certainly welcome and appreciated. Thanks for coming and expressing your feelings, Steve. And certainly encourage anyone who wants to bring anything to our attention. We certainly appreciate that, and like to encourage people to do so. And beyond that, I guess the word on the street is there's a lot of interest in open seats on the commission in November. It's good to see that I think we've got nine candidates, I believe. So it's certainly good to see that people take such an interest in their city, and certainly look forward to seeing how this election goes. It'll be a little exciting. That's all I have.
Mr. Aquila?
I have nothing, thank you.
I have no comments. Next
I had
up.
a couple others I forgot to mention during mine. I put the annual lake for July lake levels. Good news is from last June, end of last June to the end of this June, the lake's down 19 inches, just
Wow.
1 year. But that's still 13 inches above the 100-year average. And that's 3 feet 10 inches above the height that was in 1964, which seems amazing that you could
Oh my
go
goodness. Wow.
go almost 4 feet lower, and that's where it was
It's amazing that it dropped 19 inches in
in a year.
In a year.
And also included
water.
in the packet with Vicky had we started the investments with these are the Bay Bank. I mean these are the bank investment. How we have the money invested
Yes, with First Bank.
with First Bank.
Yes. And we haven't been invested with them for quite a year yet. So, my plans with that report is once we have something to compare it to, then we can do like a pie chart comparison.
Are they benchmarking any funds with that?
Benchmarking?
Like using a fund as a benchmark and then
I'm sure.
allocating the assets?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. There's not much that we can invest in. Most of it is
Right.
in bonds and, really safe
Yeah. I'm sure
investing
there's other-
vehicles,
I'm sure
but
there's funds
that they use to benchmark, yes.
Yeah, it's a little limited. We're going from probably a little less than 1% to the most dangerous ones are about 1 3/4% for us for the government funds. So, but I was planning on having Bob Valentine come in and give it a little annual report because it's been close to a year that he's been doing stuff for us. So. And that was it.
City clerk comments?
Greg stole my news that we had 9 people for the
You're welcome.
for the 3 open seats for November 2nd. So those petitions have been certified and reported to the county clerk to be placed on the ballot. If you want to see the election notice, it is on the website under the clerks tab, so you can see it. It's posted out front as well. So that's it. That's all the news I have.
Good. And we're adjourned.
These are the typos on page 35.
Great.
So,
Almost.
that depends if it's.
Well,
progressive
she's
or
got it,
wrong.
but charged and.
That should be banned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
just
couple things
slip
about
of the finger,
permits.
that's what they are.
Yeah.
With some relocation, you gotta have some.
Clerk has an extra A's.
So she's got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, I can't help.
She's got the
typos
license.